Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, we'll be looking about abstraction. Basically, what is abstraction? Abstraction means hiding the unnecessary details to the outside world is called abstraction. So you will be asking, why do we need abstraction? Why do we need to hide the data? See, we are going to have a display function. We will be displaying some information. I don't want the user to know how I'm going to display it, in what order, or how I'm doing the display function. I just need to show only that I'm having a display function. This would display. So only showing that details without showing the exact implementation, that is called abstraction. So this is very much useful because you need to know, sometimes you need to know only what you are going to do without knowing how we are doing it. See, you could take an example of driving a car. You just need to know how to drive a car. You just press the accelerator and you need to know about the gears. You don't need to know about how it's internally working. When you change the gear, how it's internally changing it. You don't need to do that. You need to know how you are going to drive it, how you are going to change the gears, like that. So let's see how we can do that implementation in Java. For that, we need to use the abstract keyword. Abstract. That other than that, everything is simple. You need to create a class like a normal class. Let's say it has something called car. Cars. Okay, this is how we create classes in Java, right? This is very much simple. But in this, at least one function should be there that should not have the definition. So let me create a function called public. I need to use the abstract keyword here as well. Abstract public void display. This is completely fine. You have just given only the declaration over here. What does it mean? It means that it's going to have a function called display. I don't know how it's going to display the information. Okay. One quick tip that you cannot create objects for this abstract classes. I will tell you why. Now let's see how to do this. I don't want this alone. I want to implement it, but I'm just hiding it. How do I need to do? I need to create another class, what to say, car X, something like that. So, and I need to use extends what is this base case? This car. So I need to have that over here. So now it's showing an error. Why? It shows that you need to do the unimplemented objects over here. I'll just give implement methods. You will be seeing at override. What does this override means? We'll cover that. So now I'm just going to display south in the extended class. Okay. Now, while creating object, you cannot create objects for this abstract class. See, cars, uh, car is equal to new cars. You cannot. It's just going this. Why? Because you don't having any constructor over here. Actually, creating object, you will be using constructor in the right hand side, right? That is the actual object creation. Now let's see how to create object. You need to create object for this class. So I'll do that. What name? Car is equal to new cars. This is completely fine. Now you can access car dot display. Now if I try to run this, you get the proper display in the extended class. Okay. Another tip is whenever you are using this abstract classes, hereafter we will be seeing a lot of things like interface and stuff. So for the time you need, or you will always use this base class name in the left hand side here. What it does actually mean? It actually means this left hand side is you are creating a reference. I'm just creating a reference to this car type, but I'm not creating an object. I'm creating an object for this car X, which is in the right hand side. Actually, this new and this constructor is what actually going to create an object. This left hand side doesn't create an object, it just creates a reference. It creates a reference for this car class, but creates the object for this car X. So whenever we are doing the advanced concepts, when we do data structures and stuff, so mostly we'll be using a list over here and array list over here. So we'll see why we are doing that in the upcoming lectures, but this is a tip that mostly we will use like this. Okay, what this override means? Override means I'm actually saying car.display, but this display won't be called. It gets overridden, and this one would be executed because there are same names, right? Nothing is different, everything is same. There would be confusion, right? Which display needs to be called? There won't be any confusion. This is overridden. You might be asking the question, does an abstract class can have only this abstract methods? No, you could have another methods like uh, public void I say display 2. This has definition inside. I just say in the abstract class. Okay. Okay. Now I'm getting a question. I cannot even create an object for this class. How do I print it over here? Question, right? You could do that in this extended class. I will tell you how. Then in the extended class, you will be asking, how can I call it? Can I do this directly display to? No, you cannot do that. For that, you need to use the super keyword. Super dot. Okay. Now what it does? Super is a special keyword that is used to call the higher classes than that. It will in generally will tell it as base classes. In inheritance and stuff, you will be having the parent class and the child class. So the super keywords are used to call the classes that are like base for this. Here, what is a base? This car is the base for this car X class. So when I use the super keyword, it could access anything over here. So now let's try to run this. See, I'm calling this display function. This display function, what would happen? This gets printed and this display to class gets printed. But the same thing when I try to do it over here, super dot uh, display to, I can't do it. Why? Because this class is a template. It won't get executed. When I do this, it's an executable statement. Okay, right? It's an executable statement. It just calls something. But this is not going to get executed anyhow. This is just a template. So you need to have that in a something that's going to get executed. Okay, hopefully it's clear. Don't worry about that super and super keyword and stuff. Basically, super keyword is used to access the elements that are in the base class. Okay, we'll be using it a lot in the upcoming lectures when we do inheritance and interface and stuff. So right now, try to understand what is abstract class and how we are implementing this abstraction and stuff. Another important thing is what. Let me comment all these things out. What if I don't even have this abstract function? Let's remove it. What if I try to run, will it work? Let's remove this as well. If I run this, will it compile or not? It compiles, nothing gets happened. So abstract class can have this method, but without any method over here, you cannot call it. Can I have my own methods over here? Let's see. Public void this south in extended. Now let's try to call this car dot this. It didn't work. Let's try to replace that. Control C, Control V. Now it works because when I create object like this, car X is equal to new, I have only access to this particular class. Okay. When I remove this, now this shows an error. Hopefully it's clear. Basically, abstraction means you're just going to show what are going to be there, not how. Basically, that's it. Generally, whenever we use this abstract, we need to have this abstract method. So when we have only one abstract method in it, that's called simple abstract methods. So we'll be doing a lot of lectures in this in the upcoming lectures. This is just to give an introduction to it. Hopefully it's clear. Thank you for watching.